Going back to this story about why CO2 stuff started, people started getting correlations between changes in CO2, increased use of fossil fuels, and increased temperatures over a small number of years.
That's correlation, not causing.
I know, but you try explaining that to the population at large, and even some of the scientists have got lost in this.
You're right.
The total argument is so complicated about ice cores and records of CO2 going back years, and physical stuff from the atmosphere, as well as plant-based stuff and fossil fuels. There's nobody in the world you could say is an expert on all of it. So Beddington and the rest are just collecting together opinions from a load of specialists and making it into a single theory about CO2. Meanwhile, there are thousands of other qualified scientists around the world who are saying that you're misusing my results from the past. It's not provable that CO2 causes all this.
Didn't Beddington just resign? Isn't he just finished this?
No, he's just retired.
Retired.
Yeah.
So there's presumably somebody else going to step up.
So he's not the chief advisor now, is he?
No.
I think it was what you saw on BBC, I understood, was his farewell speech.
Yeah, that's right.
Close to it.
Oh, I see. So we can't call for his resignation.
No, he's gone.
Yes, you can.
We can do, and then you go and we say we won.
Absolutely. Well, what do you think they do to you?
There's no reason I agree with that, but there's not something else that makes this suddenly attraction. Over the ozone hole, it was never a hole, there's a perception that we fixed that. Humans, if they actually encounter it, can fix the planet. Yeah. Now, I'm not taking sure whether the ozone hole was actually well, it was never a hole, but whatever, the dramatic thinning that they found, and they actually put up a satellite to have a look. We hadn't done that before, so we didn't really know what it was like before. Then there's rigmarole about CFCs, and that must be able to do with chlorine in the upper atmosphere, etc., etc. That may well be true. Then again, it might not be. Maybe it's just something to do with temperature change. But the perception of the general public is we've got together and we fixed it. Therefore, we can get together and fix this runaway heating we're going to get.
Which is a much more complicated issue, actually. The CFC one, I'd assume that's pretty well true. We made these chemicals which were not natural, pushed them up, they got up to the atmosphere slowly, and now they're diminishing slowly, and the ozone hole is sort of closing up again slowly.
We know that it has got an effect, but we don't know that was the reason why it did it.
No, we don't know. You see, there always has been ozone holes, because those halides come out of the sea anyway.
Yeah.
Sea volcanoes, there's halides in there.
Yeah.
Halides on the surface of super cold droplets in the Antarctic, in a cold situation, cause loss of ozone. And the frigid waste might have exacerbated that, or it might be illusory. We don't know.
Is weather action driving for a particular political result to try and persuade the new Beddington?
The Met Office to go back up, join BBC at
Well,
Salford.
we demand evidence-based science, and we want application.
But there is
of our
something
forecast.
big at the back of this whole thing about all the money we're wasting, the fact that we haven't got a nuclear power strategy by the sound of things.
Well, I've been to a lot of conferences where the engineers, I've been to, as I mentioned these things, I've been to in Capenhurst, where the engineers I met, there's none of them who believe in the CO2 stuff. And they admit that they're just making wind farms that will fall down because they're getting paid for it.
And they are falling down.
They are falling down.
And
And
they
if
fall
they're
down in
finished,
snow.
you can't get insurance.
No, I mean there's one fell down in France, I think.
Not
Snow's
in
involved.
UK.
Didn't they try and say
Bad
someone's been
design.
loosening the bolts?
They did, yeah. Well, I hope someone has been loosening the bolts, but the people that are building them say the foundations aren't strong enough, and you can't get insurance for them for more than 5 years, because the insurance companies know that. And then all the scientists, the politicians are pointing at each other. So it wasn't me, it was Chris Huhne,
Last government.
and he's in jail.
No.
The last government left us with this.
And this new maintenance work on these windmills are going to mean that your electricity bills are going to have to go up again.
Hasn't it? Really? You've got to be careful.
Well, shall we call for Beddington's resignation then?
Yeah.
And then he resign next week and we'll...
On the, I think it's resigned.
It was Piers what won it.
Finishes tomorrow. But there's another wee bit. We've been to Chris Fox, who works for GKN now. GKN make gearboxes for windmills. But they've been more than that. And I said, why have you designed it in such an idiot fashion? Why do you have to have a gearbox? No, I've been all electrical engineers type from.
They're for indoor use, though.
I would have thought that you could probably achieve the same effect by having switching different windings on a big motor. It doesn't require a gearbox. And then it comes out with, of course, you have to put a brake in there. And I said, why do you have to have a brake? Well, if the wind blows too much, then you have to stop it going round. And I'm thinking, well, surely if it's a windmill and it's a propeller, you could feather the blades going. Wouldn't that be cheaper?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it takes me this has not been thought out. Although I'm told by him that people who've been working on this for years.
Oh, they have, yeah.
You saw the
Suggest
secrets
that
and then you actually feather the sails.
Well, they've been working on it for years, but they want to carry on working on it for years. They don't want to sell it. It's a bit like looking for the Higgs boson. No, don't find it, please. No. Another
Don't knock it.
It just seems to me we've not spent an awful lot of time actually thinking about how to design it. Even if it worked, how would you design it? And I remember new scientists used to carry pictures of vertical windmills, which wouldn't have to be steered. But I've not seen any of those.
No.
And the notion you have to have a thing going that way, then a gearbox, then a shaft, then the generator at the bottom. Makes no sense to me.
The Dutch did it very well a long time
Might be
ago.
danger. I mean, if you had one going the full height, spinning on a vertical axis, presumably it'd be almost anybody could walk into one.
Yes. It's quite high up. It doesn't go.
But you'd have to have a shaft there.
You get these helical ones, don't you? The sort of a,
Yeah,
I've
not seen it.
I would say lots of music.
Have you? Oh, okay.
Hemisphere, you mean?
I have one big
The hemisphere goes
Horizontal.
horizontally.
Mm. You have to put up in a stick a bit.
Yeah, but then
But then you're saying it's direct drive then.
yeah, because goodness knows, why do you need a gearbox? Why is it there? Well, because it's easy to maintain it if the generator's at the bottom rather than at the top. Right, so it's not. The assumption is it's all up there. It's not down there.
And they have to change the oil.
It doesn't strike me as being elegant.
It's a bit like Emmett's engine, isn't it? You know, it kind of everybody
Well,
mucking
we have
in
these
to give
preferred
themselves a job.
suppliers. See, we have
have you seen
special
the YouTube
gearbox oil.
video of one getting out of control?
And they
It's
need
very
to line
interesting.
them.
It literally explains.
That's usually down the bottom.
Well, that's what it is, because it's easier to
Spinning
maintain.
thing.
It's easier to maintain it with down the bottom.
Drive it down.
You have to have a gearbox.
That's how the old windmills used to look.
Yeah.
A couple more things about sea ice, etc. Just a point about understanding what is going on. We made the point before that we've got a 60-year cycle in many things. Sea ice will obviously also have a 60-year cycle. So them noticing it's been declining for 30 years, of course, is not a surprise at all. It has been declining for 30 years and we're at the end of that decline and it will start rising again because there's going to be a 60-year cycle in it.
Well, they don't think so.
Well, we could say that on a film and challenge them.
When you say rising, you mean you're going to get more sea ice?
Yes.
We'll get more.
Do you have
Do
any?
you know what the sea ice is like right now for this?
Yeah, it's on that graph.
Is there quite a lot, would you say?
No, it's down to a minimum. That's what Piers is
No,
saying.
Well,
I mean
it's
the
not a minimum,
maximum right now. Is the maximum quite a lot?
Oh,
Because all we hear about is the minimum.
yeah, this period we're in now, the highest level on, I'll pass the graph around, late February is when you get the peak of sea ice extent.
Yes. So,
I'll pass that around.
because I notice they go on about the minimum, but you don't hear them talk about the maximum. There's a chance the maximum is quite big. You know, you can tell you one side of the story.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, but you're talking about within a year.
yeah.
Piers is talking about a 60-year cycle.
Yeah, I know that. But all they go on about is the minimum. I'd like to know what the maximum figure is as well. Because
Okay.
it could be that it
The
fluctuates
variation.
more, which would be in line with the global cooling, bigger fluctuation.
Sure. Yeah, good point. That graph doesn't show what happened to the minimum. I think
Most
is-
important.
if you saw the minimum on that graph, it would be boom. Obviously something wrong with the measurements, because we know there's something wrong with the measurements. That's why they don't talk about it, or even show it on that graph. That graph starts in December. If it was meant to be supporting their argument, they would have started it in September, where they say it was such a grand minimum.
How do you get the measurements? Is there an independent satellite feed that you can?
Well, are they independent satellites? Good
But the
point.
satellites.
Well, last summer there was a storm in the Arctic which broke up the
Exactly.
ice.
It's got Beddington.
And satellites couldn't see
It
it.
says, here it says Beddington is. The UK government's chief scientist has said.
But there are
The evidence that climate change is happening is completely unequivocal. Completely unequivocal. By climate change, from the previous paragraph, it means CO2 to
What are you
the
gonna say?
environment.